G'day guys, it's Pete Moriarty here, and we are covering how you can make sure that you keep your new year starting fresh. That is your financial new year. And so we are going to be going through a few different ways that you can get your tech stack cleaned up and ready for this time of year, starting with a fresh slate. I like to think of it as a little bit of spring cleaning. And what we're going to be covering is how you can really get things tidied up and be ready for a new period in your business. And so how we're going to be doing this? Well, in a few different tech areas of the business. We're living the remote work anywhere dream, and we promote remote work. We help business owners get set up to be flexible in their workplaces. And that means that a weekend away, which was my anniversary with my partner, became now we're up to 2.5 weeks on the road. We got through our weekend and we decided, hey, you know what? Why don't we just extend? And we've decided to kind of indefinitely extend. Our first one that we're going to talk about is doing a bit of an audit of our Drive data. And so from time to time on our local desktop, we're talking about here, files build up, right? You install applications, you install software, you download your photos, your movies, your porn, blah, 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 everything. And that ends up clugging up your local computer. And so you should do an audit and actually see what data is being consumed there. And so I'm going to show you guys an app to actually do that. And this auditing app is going to work for Mac, and it's going to work for PC as well. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you where all of your data lives. So let me show you what that app is. It's actually called WinDirStat, which is a really weird name. It stands for Windows Directory Statistics. This is the Windows one, and I'll show you guys the Mac one in a second. So you go and download this app, and then from here, this little app, let's open this bad boy up here. So this little app will actually bring in your hard drive structure. So it'll actually search and scan through your whole hard drive, and it'll show you visually what's taking up space. So that DVD that you downloaded like years ago, maybe some large photo files or whatever, anything that's consuming large amounts of space on your local hard drive on your computer should be backed up, and ideally you just chuck it into Google Drive and then deleted from the local machine. Now, obviously, if you're using a G Suite business account, you can just use your Google File Stream for that. And when you sign into Google File Stream, it creates that link between your local computer and the cloud. And anything you drop into Google File Stream, it's going to zip it up to your cloud folder, and then it's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It actually removes the local copy from your machine. So if this is like old data, you want to completely get rid of it. The other thing that you can do is you can use the tool Google Backup and Sync, and Google Backup and Sync will actually let you do a backup of all of the local files that are sitting on your computer. And then when you go into your Google Drive, let me open up my Google Drive here. When you're using Backup and Sync and you go into your Google Drive, you'll see that you have a menu here called Computers, and all of your backed up files will actually show up in the Computers menu inside your Google Drive. And so that is a great way of backing up all of the files on your local computer. But remember, the goal here is to clean up the machine. So once we back them up, we want to start actually removing them. Let me show you the Mac version. It's called Disk Inventory X. And the Mac version will allow you to do the same thing. Here's the website if you're looking for it. Same kind of program there. It's going to go through your whole hard drive, and it's going to show you visually where all your files are. Now, for the nerds that are watching this, you would know that when you open up your folders, you can't actually see the folder tree and the size of each one of those folders. What this thing does is it actually shows you the size of all of the subfolders in each folder as you're going through the folder tree, which is an absolute godsend, and it makes it really easy for you to find where all those large files are. So inevitably, when you're using something like Google Drive, or even if you're using Dropbox, you're going to end up with a lot of files just kind of swimming around online in your online folder. And on my machine, this is what that looks like. I'm going to go into my Drive here, and you can see I've got my folders neatly organized up the top, but then I've got a bunch of files that are just basically sitting around. And anytime you create a Google document and you don't specify what file folder to put it into, it's just automatically going to dump it there into your Google My Drive. And so we don't necessarily want to delete those files, but we do definitely want to clean them up just so we can kind of get back to square one and get things nice and tidy again. So this is how we're going to deal with that. We're going to go into our My Drive. We're going to go select all, and you can do that by clicking Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac. And then we don't need these folders. So we're going to remove each one of the folders from our selection. I'm just holding down the command button there. So we've got all of the files selected, and I'm actually going to right click And of course, it's going to make a liar out of me, and I'm not able to move them into a folder. What I'm trying to do is actually move these guys into a folder. So let's see if we can create the folder first. First rule of demos is that they always make a liar out of you. All right, let's try again. I'm going to select all my files, and now you're going to have to painfully watch me untick all of these one by one again. All right. Nearly there. Okay. And we're going to move all these into that archive folder. And of course, it's not going to let me. Okay. So there's a file in there that I don't own. And so that file in there that I don't own is preventing me from actually moving it into the folder. But I think you get the idea of the concept there, guys, that what we want to do is take all of our files that are sitting there, drag them into a folder. You can call that archive if you like. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave it nice and tidy. Now, there's probably files that are in there from years ago or months ago that you are no longer using. And so we can just basically completely get rid of those. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so let's move on to our next one. We're actually going to do something pretty similar, but that's going to be inside our email. And so if you are a business owner, you're probably receiving hundreds of emails every single day. And if you've been watching our channel, you would know there's some tricks to kind of filter the non-human emails out of your inbox. But if you have a buildup of emails sitting inside your inbox, then I've got a super duper trick to get that nice and tidy. All you have to do is jump into your inbox and look at all of your emails. Look at all of my emails. I've only got 24 in there, but there's quite a few emails. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight just the important ones. And we teach this in our inbox course. You go through to your important emails and you tick each one of the ones that are important for you to actually reply to. And I would recommend you go back probably about 14 days. Just go back the last couple of weeks. If anything is older than that and you're not going to get to it, or you haven't replied to it yet, then if someone sent it to you, they're probably going to follow up. Just don't worry about anything older than that. But definitely for the next 14 days, we want to go ahead and select the ones that are important that we really need to get back to. I don't think there's anything else here except maybe the test of our broadcast that's going out tomorrow. I'm going to take those emails and I'm going to move them into a folder. Now, I use an action label. It's called Peter to Action. So I'm going to move it to there and it's going to take it out of my inbox. And then the last step here is we're going to select all of our emails. So let's go select all, selecting all of the emails in my inbox, and watch this. Bang, we're going to hit the archive button. Poof, they're gone. And magically, we have a clean inbox. Now, any of the emails that were in there are still going to be searchable because we're using Google. We can always search for them. Using the archive means that they don't get deleted ever. They just get removed from the inbox. It's kind of like sweeping up your lounge room, lifting up the rug and sweeping all the dust under the rug, but you've got an unlimited rug to sweep dust under. And so what that does is that basically tidies up your inbox. You get a nice fresh start. July 1, you can start it nice and tidy. Awesome. I think that's pretty awesome. Let me know if you think that's awesome as well. Google complies with all of the Australian privacy principles, which is an extremely stringent set of privacy principles for utilizing, storing, and transmitting data. You can even use Google Drive for, and I'm hashtag not a lawyer, but you can use Google Drive for patient health records. You can use it for financial information. You can use it for personal information. You can even put Medicare numbers in there as long as you're following all of the other guidelines around Medicare numbers. And what that means is that Google have, as long as inside your business you've ticked all the right boxes on your processes and policies, Google have met all of the requirements for that level of certification and for that level of legal framework to be covered. Now, can I promise you that? No, I'm not a lawyer. You need to check with your own team. Have we got many medical and financial businesses running Google Drive and storing patient data and customer financial data inside Google Drive? Yes, we do. And so you asked about encryption. Let me tell you a little bit about that quickly. Google encrypts your data on their servers. Google encrypts your data in transit, and it encrypts it right down to the desktop when you're working in the web interface. And also on the desktop level, when you're synchronizing a file from your desktop to Google servers using one of Google's synchronization tools that get installed on your local computer, it's encrypted there as well. You can also enable two-factor authentication, which is mandatory for Australian privacy principles to be compliant on all your devices. And what that means is that if someone was able to get your Google Drive password in your Google business account, then they would need your mobile phone to get access to your account. There's no other way they can get access without actually having the 6-digit code that gets sent to your mobile. So if you're in the financial services or healthcare space and you're interested in security discussion around Google, check out the G Suite website. There's heaps of FAQs there, but you can of course have a chat to our team as well.